Hi, everyone. So Vince, after our last Tokyo Treat box, he went full Naruto. He told me he's the Shadow Hokage, and so he's off doing some sort of business for the Hidden Leaf. So it's just me here to tell you about Tokyo Treat and how they want to invite everyone to experience Japan from the comfort of their own home through their snack boxes. If you don't know, Tokyo Treat, it is a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box. And in this box, you will get up to 20 exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. We're talking candy, we're talking ramen, we're talking drinks. These things are only available in Japan for a limited time. And this month's box is a banger. It is the Tokyo Snackcation themed box. Tokyo Treat, they are inviting you to journey through Japan's exciting and colorful capital city, Tokyo, which is also Tokyo Treat's hometown. This is a hometown celebration because this box is packed with delicious, sweet, and savory snacks inspired by Tokyo itself. So get ready to explore what's inside. Some of the highlights. Look at that. I got to tell you, if you're watching the video of this, I've already dug into this box. That's why I couldn't help myself. But some of the highlights from this box are the Kit Kat Royal Milk Tea, the Tokyo Shoyu Ramen, which I've already had as a lunch. It's so good. Great umami flavor, very just filling and warm. Kokeo Ume chips, Pokemon chocolate marshmallow, and melon cream soda. So much more that are in this box. And I gotta ignore that noise. Look, I gotta dig into this Pokemon chocolate marshmallow. We got Pikachu here. He's reaching out for me, begging me to try this marshmallow. So here we go. Oh, okay. So for those not watching the video, I thought it was going to be chocolate covered. It is a marshmallow and what I'm assuming the chocolate's inside. So let's take a bite. What a reversal. I think that's how we have to do it. Well, why aren't we doing our marshmallow treats with chocolate inside? Because the chocolate's creamy, it's rich and not too sweet, and the marshmallow is like, get those peeps out of here. This is true marshmallow flavor. The ad will take so long if I try and finish this. I'll try and not eat the rest of this during the ad. But look, you know us. We love Tokyo Treat. One of the things we love about it is the booklet that it comes with. Not only does it have important allergy information, but this month you're getting some tips and tricks about traveling to Japan and Tokyo. Maybe you're planning your dream Japanese vacation. You can get some ideas. Learn about some things to go see while you're in Japan. And look, we love Tokyo Treat. It's delicious. It is so fun and exciting when you know your box is coming to your door to see what's inside. Everyone we have shared these snacks with has loved them. It's a wonderful gift. Go get your own box. That's, I think, at the end of the day, what I'm actually saying is go get your own box. And you can do that by going to the link in the description of the show notes. That is team.tokyotreat.com/Kame. And if you use our very special promo code Kame, Kame, at checkout, you'll get $5 off your first box. By doing that, you support Tokyo Treat. And by doing that, you support us. You support the show. So if you want your own Tokyo Treat box, I highly recommend it. You follow the link in the show notes. Use the promo code Kame at checkout. Get yourself some delicious treats. And I will, when Vince comes back, I will let him know, he missed while he was, I don't know, a villain from Naruto, some sort of fox spirit. I think there are aliens on the moon. Anyway, he can tell me all about it when he gets back. But now, on with the show.
Kame House Party!
We'll talk
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Kame House Party. I am Aaron, and this is the universe's only improv comedy Dragon Ball watch along podcast. I already said universe. I don't know if multiverse. Haven't checked. The verdict's still out. There could be a better one out there. Probably not. But thank you all for joining us. We have a lovely guest host joining us for this episode. You may know them from the Technical Difficulties Gaming podcast, an actual play podcast. You may know them from several streams that we've had here at the old KHP house along through the years. Please stop your cars. Please give a warm welcome to Greg Bennett. Greg, how are you?
Hello, Internet. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for joining us here on the pod.
Proud to.
So you are, for other people, I think I need to let them know that you are one of my original podcasting homies. Technical Difficulties Gaming Podcast was my first podcast that I was a part of.
This March, we just celebrated the 8-year anniversary.
Oh, no.
I know. We're quickly approaching 10.
Why does time keep happening?
You're telling me about it.
That's crazy. Because I think this is 1 year after 2016. Oh, yeah, we're getting 8. I think, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess we've known each other 8 years.
We have. Back when forums were still a thing.
Before there were the 3 websites, and that was it.
God love the present day internet.
But what I gotta ask, what I don't think I know, is your history with Dragon Ball. And so, like, when did you discover the show? Was it early on? Was it something you found later?
Mm-hmm. So my history with Dragon Ball. I, like many millennial kids, perhaps such as yourself, only really found out about Dragon Ball once Toonami became a thing on Cartoon Network. So was watching Sailor Moon. One of my friends got really, really into Dragon Ball. So I watched a bunch of the show with him. He found copies of a bunch of the movies, and we'd watch them at his house. Mm-hmm. So I think when I got in was sometime around the Namekian saga. And I believe I did watch most of DBZ through to near the end. So wow. I did watch a bunch of the original run on Cartoon Network. Thanks to glorious DVRs back in the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't have it on me. I should have drug it out. Shame on me that I didn't. I do actually have the Life of Trunks Burger King VHS that they exclusively released that episode through the VHS copy you could get with the Burger King combo meal.
Life of Trunks? What is this? This is new to me.
Oh, it's just the episode from where Trunks is regaling about his time with Gohan in the future and fighting. So I don't remember that they actually aired that on TV, but they did have the VHS tape you could get from Burger King.
Burger King loved Dragon Ball. I do remember they had... I've seen the commercial where it's just a kid dressed as Goku, and he flips in, and the cashier's like, "Here for Dragon Ball Z?" And the kid just nods. And then it's, "Hey, come get..." I think it was for the card game.
That might have been because they also partnered with Pokemon quite a bit, and they did a few Pokemon things. They did a lot of video game and anime stuff back in the aughts.
They did. Now I'm having this visceral memory of like We have to go to Burger King and get these combo meals so we can get this Pokemon merch.
Exactly. It was the only thing we had at the time. We didn't have import websites and stuff. But no, most of my interaction with DBZ was from the show itself. I still haven't actually read any of the manga of any of the series. Haven't really played any of the video games all that much, so most of my interaction with Dragon Ball Z, both growing up and to today, is through the anime itself.
Okay. And do you consider yourself a fan of it? Is it just something more of like in the background?
I wouldn't consider myself like an active fan. Like it's not like me loving DBZ is like one of my core fanhoods. But it is something I enjoy. It's something I would gladly watch. Something that I've been willing to listen to a friend podcast about it. So I'm not nearly as in the bag as you and Vince, but I would consider myself at least a low to mid fan.
Okay. Well, let's get in. We can get right into it. We can do the thing we're here to do. But first, all you listeners know that we have to do a little bit of Kame housekeeping. We have to get you ready for the podcast ahead. And the first part of Kame housekeeping is the world famous UN sanctioned 1 minute roundup. Just looking around the room, cable sound. Well, I'm all tied up against this train track.
Sure, buddy. And I think the high noon train is coming in about 13 minutes.
Well, I'm still not going to tell you where my gold is.
Well, that's good, because I ain't interested in your gold, buddy.
Wait, what? That's not why you tied me up?
You.
Me?
Yeah, why? I mean, I could find your gold any day of the week. Like, I got time. I got a posse. But what I want is I want to hear you squeal.
Like some sort of pig?
Oink, oink.
And scene. Oink. There's only two ways slowly saying oink oink to someone can go. It's either a shitting of the pants or extreme laughter.
The beauty of improv.
Thank you, Greg, for joining in on that, and you listeners. That is improvised scene we do to loosen or tighten our improv muscles, and it leads us into the 1 minute roundup proper, which is where one of us, this time Greg, has to summarize everything that we have covered in Dragon Ball thus far. I am talking the original series of Dragon Ball. I'm talking 162 episodes of Dragon Ball Z. Are the movies going to get thrown in there? Who knows? It's up to Greg. And we do this so you don't have to go back and listen to our old episodes. You don't have to watch the entirety of Dragon Ball like we have. That's so much. Why do that? So you can just jump right into the latest and greatest episode. And all that's left to do is to ask Greg, are you ready to round up?
I am ready to round up.
All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Goku is a boy and star of a TV show who goes around learning martial arts, trying to collect 7 magic Dragon Balls. He fights an army and an alien from outer space, amongst other people. He then grows up, gets married, has a son, and now stars in a second TV show. He fights a second set of aliens who reveal Goku is also an alien and that their species conquers other planets. One of these aliens, Vegeta, he survives the battle and they come kind of bros. They all go to the planet of the first alien who gave birth to himself before he died in the last series. Now he's kind of a bro. They go and fight a genocidal alien, find that planet's Dragon Balls, which they do, and they save the day and everything's good. Except they go back to Earth, they fight the remnants of the army from way back in the first series, who are using androids and a robot from the future that eats androids to power itself up. Vegeta's future son came from a Days of the Future past ass future to save the present. Now Goku and his son are training in a time pocket, while Vegeta perfected the future bot to fight it, and the future bot whooped his butt, and now Vegeta's future son has to save him before the planet gets ruined, and we are a minute out, and I'm good.
Yes! How delightful! That was so concise. Genuinely!
There's a lot to get through. I took my... Aaron knows, a lot of the people from the podcast know, I take notes. I am working off of something. I knew I had to get it right and knew I had to do it good, so I've been practicing.
All right. Well, thank you for putting all that effort and time into it. I know the audience appreciated it. You might be the first person to recognize that Goku is in fact a TV character. So I like that little wrinkle you added in there. Hollywood celeb Goku stars in.
Starring in Dragon Ball Z.
Thank you so much. And that allows us to go into the next part of Kame Housekeeping, which is where we let you know that we watched 2 different versions of the episode. I watched the original language English subtitled version. Greg has watched the English dubbed version. And we do this because a lot of times there are differences between the 2 versions. Sometimes they're very big. Sometimes they are very small. Usually interesting. And the first title or the first difference is usually the title. So Greg, could you please give the title for your episode?
Okay, this is Dragon Ball Z, episode 163, Saving Throw. Such a hype title for what happens.
Save it, yeah. I was like, oh, this is apropos concerning your podcast. A saving throw. Is this... I don't even know how you would describe a saving throw. You roll a dice and maybe you get hurt.
Yeah, an attack succeeds against you, and you have to roll a dice to see if it actually goes through. I mean, we don't usually do D&D all that much, and saving throws are usually that, so... no.
But there's no dice in this episode. And yeah, maybe my title can add a little more excitement to it.
Fingers crossed.
So the title for my episode 163 of Dragon Ball Z, roughly translated, is Save Your Father! Trunks' Fury, which scorched even the heavens.
I think that's a little more hype.
Just
a teeny bit more. Just a teeny bit more.
Come on, Trunks, save your dad. And also, be sure to scorch the heavens.
Oh, glory.
But yeah, this is a very Trunks heavy episode. We finally get to see him do his thing. So let's get into it. As we leave off, we see that Trunks has been powering up. He's getting very buff. His eyes have widened out.
He spends almost a full minute just moaning and powering up. Again, with my note taking, I counted 57 seconds he spends just moaning and grunting as the power waves are cascading over him.
It's so much moaning that even Cell is impressed. He's like, "Oh, Trunks." During this time, Krillin is so scared, and I like that he has a little soliloquy about Saiyans in a split screen of just who are these Saiyans, and he does his own little roundup because he's like, it seems like every time there's a strong opponent, they just get stronger.
They just keep on growing.
It's like, yeah, bud, that's the show.
Yes. What do you think we're doing here, Krillin?
It's like you're supposed to do that too.
Humans theoretically can do it, but no, you're just watching. Just always watching.
Yeah. It's because he went on one singular day. That's the problem.
Got one little fight and his mom got scared.
Said, "You're not trading with the Saints."
In Bel Air.
I think Trunks finally snaps out of it, and that is when he makes a request to Krillin to like, "Hey, my dad, he's not dead yet, but please get him to safety. Also, give him a senzu bean when the time is right." And then in mine, Krillin makes a mention of him being afraid that Trunks was going to go insane, similar to when the Saiyans have turned into great apes before.
Yeah, he doesn't bring up the great apes in the English version, but he was afraid that Trunks was going to lose it and that he might be collateral damage. He also gets very concerned because that's the last sensu bean they have, and he's giving it to Vegeta.
Oh, I don't think I got that part of that it was the last one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Krillin mentions it while Trunks flips it to him.
I think there's just the like, well, what about you? And then Trunks. Mm-hmm. So Trunks is a character. I'll say that later. But Trunks, in my version, when asked about, "Hey, what about you? Won't you need a sensu bean?" Trunks just says, "I won't need a sensu because I will be sure to win." And Trunks, you look so cool. Why do you say dumb things and not cool things? There's a better way you could have said that.
Oh yeah. What are you thinking?
Just like, not. I won't need a bean because there's gonna be a bean down on Cell. Maybe I shouldn't judge. Maybe it's harder than I think.
It's off the cuff for Trunks, at least. He didn't have time to workshop it.
He was too busy being angry, thinking about his dad. But it's although some of this fight there's some cool aspects to this fight. I think Trunks is such a cool character. It kind of sucks that he doesn't say anything cool like his dear old dad.
Yeah. He's mostly just concerned about fighting, and a lot of that fighting doesn't even happen on screen.
Yeah, were you a Trunks fan? Who is your favorite?
I mean,
character?
how could you not? He's got the cool jacket. He's got the sword. He one-hit KOs Frieza after Frieza came back. Like, no, he was supposed to be the cool character that everybody liked. But yeah, especially like rewatching the episode today, like he doesn't get bars. He's mostly just there to look cool.
He gets overshadowed very quickly in some things. So we do have Trunks. He slowly, so slowly, inch by inch, step by step, approaches Cell. And it's the thing of 16 is laying there. and he's admiring Trunks' power level, very impressed by it. And then there's like, I think this is a part where they're standing and like the waves are just crashing behind them.
Oh yeah, good shot.
Mm-hmm. And then like you have a big this. I like this because it was a little bit of a fake out in my head. Because you have like this big musical swell, you know they're about to fight. Cell looks so serious. And then when the swell is over, it's like 3 hits and then they disappear.
Oh yes. Oh, there was one thing in the English dub that I'm guessing might not have been brought up in the Japanese dub, because they briefly talk about Vegeta before the fight starts.
Mm-hmm.
And Cell's like, don't you think Vegeta is right where he belongs, in the mud? Well, he's face down as of.
Oh, that's so good. I'm loving this smart Cell. This
yeah.
perfect Cell. The form before, he was very dumb, very whiny, and now that he's more streamlined, he's gotten some more intelligence. So we get a tiny, after they disappear, Krillin's freaking out, doesn't know where they are, looks to the sky where they reappear, and I think it's just Trunks slamming Cell into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but we can't see that. We have to go to the hyperbolic time chamber. We have to see Gohan and Goku, and they're playing laser tag.
They're playing laser tag, right?
And I think this was a fun little sequence. We had Goku essentially said, "Hey Gohan, try and catch me. You can do whatever you want. Nothing's off limits." And it's just Gohan shooting blasts at his dad.
He shouts, "No use hiding, Dad!" And they're in like a plane of existence that's all white. There's literally nowhere to hide because they're not going into the living part of the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, what a weird line.
I mean, they are using like instant transmission to like teleport and stuff. But, like, it's not like there's like a rock or something you can hide behind.
He's just he Metal Gear Solids it. He's just under a cardboard box. Gohan's lost.
Dad, where'd you go? Ooh, some oranges.
All I see is our order from Amazon.
Ooh, I wonder what the Capsule Corp gave us today. Some ramen packets or something.
Gohan does just blow up part of the house.
Clock lands with a thud.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if that controls the hyperbolic time chamber, that might have been a problem.
Maybe. Why that clock? It's either going to go like super fast, denoting the outside world, or it's for the inside.
Yeah. I don't think they ever animate it from my memory. So, like, is it just an affect, I guess?
Something to blow. They're like, we got to blow something up.
Yeah. It's got to be something that looks cool.
You know, a clock. The coolest decoration.
And then after all that energy blasting and instant transmissioning around, the fight ends by Gohan just falling on his dad's shoulders.
I assumed
kind of a bit
it was
anticlimactic.
Yeah, I assumed it was because Gohan was using a distraction to hop into his shoulders. But yeah, not like a giant punch or anything like that. Then Goku's like, "Oh, we have to clean this up because Mr. Popo will be mad." It's like, yeah, of course.
Of course, but I don't think Goku is an expert architect. I don't think he's going to be able to rebuild all that stuff. What are they going to do? Just like shove it into a corner and just be like, Put a blanket over it?
Yeah. He spent half the time is spent learning carpentry.
It's like Chi-Chi wants Gohan to become an accountant or something, but maybe he should become an architect.
Yeah, he learned enough. So from there, we go back to the fight. Krillin is celebrating early, like it should.
Way early. Still not leaving with Vegeta.
No. He he'll explain why in a second. But Krillin, it's like, okay. The thing I thought about in this episode when I was watching it is how Krillin's like, he did, Trunks did it. He beat Cell. It's finally over. And I'm like, you have been in this situation a million times, Krillin.
Across how much of your life?
You've experienced this phenomenon
see a corpse.
on other planets. This holds true on every planet. You have to see the body, poke it with a stick. You got to confirm.
Doesn't do that. Said he's just hyping up Trunks. Trunks must be the strongest fighter in the universe. And then the dust settles and a single frame of animation as Cell just rises from the ground. That was one thing I kept noticing throughout the episode because, like, they don't bother animating Vegeta breathing while he's on the ground or being carried by Krillin.
You don't need that.
Aliens don't need to breathe. What are we talking about?
Yeah, they're from space. It works out. And we got to work out to a commercial.
Oh.
Hey, Riley.
Yeah, Andrew?
Do you want to make a podcast ad?
I do, but what would we mention?
So I think that we could probably put together an ad for a show called The Podcast Minds. There, but for the grace of pod, go we. You know, it's a podcast where we both pitch each other podcast ideas instead of doing one ourselves.
Yeah, it's a podcast pilot pitching project. Totally. We should mention that it's a comedy show, right? Where we throw out ideas like getting weirdly deep into the themes of Jumanji.
Is that one a podcast?
No. It's a podcast idea that is actually a front for me to talk to you about hyperfixations I got.
Oh, that's most of the things that you hit me with. What about instead if we just talked about all the different ways you could do a rewatch of Lost?
Oh, that sounds like you just did what I did, but you said it in a positive voice.
Okay, and along the way, what if we pitched ideas like, I don't know, Epic Rap Battles of Mystery, the Lin-Manuel Miranda podcast?
Listen to the Podcast Minds. There, but for the grace of pod, go we on your podcatcher of choice on the Moonshot Network. Hi-ho!
Hi-ho! Every Friday.
So Cell's, as we said before, Cell's alive, fine. Flow. Someone's moving the cell that he's on slowly up.
The CEL cell. He once again gets some good lines. You might think this is a nightmare, Trunks, but wake up. I'm real.
Ooh, that's good.
It's cold.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, no notes on that.
Guessing maybe not much of a quip from the Japanese translation?
No, nothing that I saw. Cell weirdly up until the end, he stayed kind of silent. And to me, it kind of gave the impression that he was taking things a little more seriously than he did with Vegeta. I also noticed that before they start to fight again, you get just a little pop of Cell's wings.
Yes.
They're not as tucked in. He's going into like sport mode or something.
Mm-hmm. In the English, he talks about like I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something to the effect about how he's excited that Trunks is powering up because it's going to make it all the more better when he absorbs Trunks. And that's when the flap happens.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wow, none of that.
Hmm.
Nothing about absorbing Trunks.
Yeah, that's an interesting contrast because Cell does talk and at times even think to himself quite a bit throughout the English translation. Like earlier when Trunks was powering up, he was observing about like him getting up to his full strength, and then they do a lot of chit-chatting while they're doing the stare down before the beginning of the fight, and then some talking now. So yeah, Cell talks quite a bit. Although to be fair, at least in this shot, like it's not like they have to animate him talking.
Yeah. It's I'm always surprised with how much the English dub is like, yeah, silence, gross, get it out of here.
Those kids won't pay attention if there's not fighting or talking. They can't just abide by just watching something.
Kids love two things, talking and fighting, and they hate people standing.
Maybe that's why they didn't bring over JoJo in the initial Toonami sequences.
There's too many
much
stands in
stands.
JoJo. Yeah. So in mine, having not watched the English dub, I feel like that's a little bit of a disservice because there's not a big twist at the end of this episode, but there's a bit of a reveal, which I think makes Cell. It's kind of again a thing that has happened many times in Dragon Ball, but I think it boosts Cell up, and then him sort of like you said, revealing in the episode over and over, like, "Yep, Vegeta's or Trunks is getting stronger. I want to see him be as strong as he can be." I think so. They have a fight.
Yes.
And then they slice through the ground like a table saw.
And
as
into
they're
the sea.
fighting. They're having an underground
Krillin's still
fight.
just watching. Still just watching and doing color commentary.
Any good lines?
Not really. Just like, wow, and so much power. Just like, yeah, nothing memorable coming from Krillin this episode,
So
both in
much
terms of
power.
words and both in terms of actions. Till we get to the end.
Yeah, I'm excited what the differences are on this part coming up. But we get more of a lay of the land. The crack that they opened up during their fight is inches away from Vegeta. His body almost falls through. Trunks notices, and Cell starts to get the upper hand. He's starting to land some punches on Trunks, pushing him further and away. And then when Trunks is on the ground, he's giving the high sign to Krillin of like, "Go take care of my dad." He doesn't say anything. It's all looks and points.
Like, you need to go, buddy.
For the listening audience, Greg did a point before saying that.
I did. And like Trunks does do a lot to try to get Cell as far away from Vegeta as possible. Like during the fight sequence, he does do a bit of dodging while also taking some hits, to the point that he dodges a kick, does 3 full flips, and then allows himself to be kicked and then flies like a good 20-30 yards. So he is trying to get Cell as far away from his dad as he possibly can while still being on this piece of land.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job of getting his ass kicked just enough. And here's, to me, this is like this is the crux of the episode to me in this part. So we have Krillin. He goes to pick up Vegeta. And in mine, he just starts lecturing a passed out Vegeta. It's like the most the most indignant I've ever seen Krillin of like, these are the consequences for allowing Cell to become his perfect form. And it's like, Krillin,
Right.
my man, you know what you did,
Let Cell
right?
become perfect. Right. Just so you could stroke your ego. And then look at your son. Your son is a true hero while he's holding Vegeta by his ass. And the way they're blocked, Vegeta, even if he was conscious, can't even be looking at Trunks.
Yeah, he got him over his shoulder. Yeah, it's like, Krillin, this is your fault too, friend.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. Who could say who had the bigger say? Yeah, he's just. It's funny to me of like, first of all, Krillin, you would never ever say this if he was conscious in any way.
Exactly. This time he's too afraid of Vegeta.
It's like, let me double check to make sure he's passed out. Okay, fuck you.
All this talk.
And then his little speech ends when he's like, and now because of you, I can't watch this great fight.
Oddly enough, they don't translate that into the English. I think he talks more just about escaping. Like, I would have remembered if he had said something about not getting to watch a great fight.
He's very bummed. He truly is he's just a cuck of fighting. He's in the chair in the corner watching these fights going on.
Yes, this is what I want to watch.
So Krillin gives the old thumbs up to Trunks and then flies away.
Trunks gives a slow nod.
Mm-hmm.
Completely inconspicuous. No possible way Cell could be noticing what's going on.
Except he did. And
he does. I did, like I said, do the math. At least on the DVD I was watching, it's at 5:35 is when Trunks tells Krillin to take his dad to Roshi, and it's 18:44 when Krillin finally leaves with Vegeta. So he's just standing there for 13 minutes, just watching the fight. So he did get to watch part of the fight. He's just whining that he didn't get to see the end of it.
He didn't get a fight. Yeah, it's like you didn't pay for tickets.
No.
Just fine. If you were, how far is Roshi's?
That's a good
Fly
question.
there, come back.
Fly up to Kame's, watch from there.
Mm-hmm. Learn to sense ki. And just watch from your brain. We have Cell now sort of revealing like, hey, I knew that's what you were trying to do, Trunks.
Yes.
But I wanted it to happen because now that you don't have to worry about Vegeta, I can test my perfect form with your true power.
We do get one more groan-worthy pun out of Cell while he's doing this talk. Your head's strong, but I hope your head is stronger when I crush it. I just groaned so hard when I heard that the first listen. Do you think they were proud of that in the writer's room?
That's like after 3 hours.
How do we punch up this episode, guys? They're just standing there for 22 minutes.
So Cell's thing is now puns. We're officially. Let's put it in. Head strong, but I hope your head is stronger. No.
And then another really long stare down as the waves crash behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Could potentially even be the same footage. I didn't watch that closely.
We briefly go back up to the tower, and I don't know why, because Piccolo's just like, Trunks, he's stronger than even Vegeta. But he doesn't just say Vegeta. Piccolo says he's stronger than Super Vegeta, which was the dumb name Vegeta wanted to go by.
God damn it. Now this is an important difference. What's Piccolo's tone in the Japanese? Like, how is the voice actor saying it? If you can kind of get a feel for how he's talking.
I feel like it's not like sarcastic. It doesn't seem like joking. Piccolo's voice actor in the Japanese is pretty good at being like, it's either even keeled or like angry.
Because in the English, Christopher is acting like Piccolo is scared. Like,
oh, interesting.
There's a level beyond Super Saiyan? He's almost like practically quivering as he's explaining to Tien and Mr. Popo and Bulma and baby Trunks, who, even though he's just a baby, he just looks like he's so over the situation.
There's no toys up there on the tower. He's bored.
Oh, yeah. Why is Mom talking with all these people?
Can we go?
But yeah, just like this brief cut, they're all just staring off into the clouds, and Piccolo is just acting like he's almost terrified that Trunks is this powerful. So it's really weird that they didn't carry over that.
Yeah,
Japanese.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get a sense of that. It was just more like, I thought it was more, again, more people, more third-party confirmation, like, yep, Trunks is very strong. Everyone agrees.
Yeah. That pretty much is just the point of this episode, is to get Vegeta out of there and to hype up Trunks as, wow, he's so powerful.
Even more powerful than Vegeta. But Vegeta, I don't know how these next few episodes go, but I'm curious if anyone told him that it's like, hey, you know when like you were fighting Cell, your son got stronger than you. But so that's 2 Saiyans. Well, 3. Well, gonna be 3. So the weakest Vegeta, the weakest living Saiyan.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Like, where's he gonna rank between Gohan and himself? It's like Gohan got Super Saiyan first, right? Well, first relatively between him and Vegeta, you know what I mean?
You mean who was are you talking about age-wise, or like who was within the timeline? Who was the first
within
one
the timeline?
Okay, Vegeta hit Super Saiyan
Before Gohan.
Before Gohan.
Okay. See, I guess it is hard to say. Like, Goku is definitely better than Vegeta. That's the whole plot of the show. They're saying in canon that Trunks is better than Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, who's
Broly?
Gohan and Vegeta are fighting for the bronze.
Broly's in there somewhere.
Broly's in there somewhere.
I'd love a Gohan and Vegeta fight.
We don't get them that often, no. But they are good when they happen.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of the episode. Trunks is strong and Vegeta is gone. That's it.
The end.
So we do have a little bit of KHP research, again from Master Researcher Nick. They write, hey KHP, there was talk last week on whether or not Vegeta ever did the final flash before Cell. The answer to which is kinda. Maybe.
Oh.
Way back on Namek, when fighting Raccoon, Vegeta used a very similar attack against him with the same Final Flash hand movements before firing, resulting in Raccoon striking a Marilyn Monroe pose when the dust settled. I remember this. And then Nick did provide an image for the viewing audience. So we had this manga page. So yeah, that's the same hand motion.
God, those word
Standout.
bubbles.
That's too far.
The hands
That's too far
clasping
back.
for the audio only listeners, the hands clasping together is cloth, CHLOPH,
Mhm.
and then a big old paf, PAF as he's firing off the shot.
Yeah, that's not a flash. That's a path. That's final path.
Yeah.
Nick continues. For reasons that escape me, DBZ Supersonic Warriors call this technique Final Crash. I guess it was not to cheapen the first time Final Flash was used, being against Cell, but it just comes across as hair splitting. Keep fighting, Master Researcher Nick. Nick, thank you so much for letting us
Thank you, Nick.
know. I now know that Final Flash, not so final, maybe, depending on who you ask.
Womp womp.
But Craig, thank you so much for coming out of the podcast and hanging out.
You're very welcome.
Is there anything you would like to plug while you are here? The floor is yours.
Well, as Aaron mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I am part of Technical Difficulties Gaming Podcast. We are a weekly podcast that covers a wide variety of tabletop role-playing games that are not just Dungeons and Dragons. So we do more mystery stuff like Call of Cthulhu and Delta Green. We do more science fiction-y stuff like Eclipse Phase. We also do some good old teenage angst like in Monster Hearts, which if you want to go back into the archives and maybe hear some of Aaron's finest work, you should look up our campaign in Monster Hearts 1 Winter Quarter 98. You can
Much
find
like
us
this podcast for mature audiences.
for mature audiences only. But you can find us at www.technicaldifficultiespod.com. You can find us wherever you find your podcasts through podcatchers and whatnot. I maintain kind of a low profile on the interwebs. I do have a Twitter and X, whatever the hell it is now. GJ Bennett 33. Maybe I'm on Blue Sky, but that's for me to know and you'd find out. But no, that's where you can find me. And
Awesome.
to get real for a second, while I have the floor, once again, I've known Aaron for a very long time. He's been a big part of Tech Diff. He's always welcome home. And we're really proud of what you and Vince have been able to make here. It's been impressive to watch you two going through all of Dragon Ball and all of DBZ, and excited to see Vince back in this chair soon enough and going onwards to the future, to the not so fun times in GT before going back to the fun times in Super.
Thank you so much. That was, I appreciate that. I know Vince appreciates it. Thank you for being a friend and for being on the podcast.
Very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So for us here at KHP, we are a part of the Moonshot Network. So the Moonshot Network of podcasts, lots of great podcasts over there. The big news coming up, though, is that we are having Moonshot, also the Royal We, are having our annual charity stream. It's Memorial Day weekend, May 24th to May 26th. And join us for the Moon Garitaville beach party on the Sea of Tranquility. It is a 3-day charity stream benefiting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Just, it's nuts. It's Moonshot always as being part of the charity stream we had for Extra Life. Wow, it's a crazy time. So if you head on over to twitch.tv twitch.tv/Moonshot Network. Give them a follow there, and you'll get alerted for the charity stream, and be able to donate to a great cause that directly benefits Vince.
Absolutely.
You can find us on the socials. If you have research, a 1 minute roundup, anything else, you can write to us at kamehousepartypod@gmail.com. I don't know how streams are going to go for the next few weeks, so we're probably taking a little bit of a break from that. Doesn't mean you can't go follow twitch.tv/kamehouseparty. That you can still do that. I'm not stopping you. And of course, we are also sponsored by Tokyo Treat, the monthly pop subscription box for all kinds of delicious delicacies, exclusive and for a limited time, only in Japan. They send a big old box your way. So if you want to support the podcast financially, one of the best ways is to head on over to team.tokyotreat.com/Kame. Use the promo code Kame to get $5 off your first box and get some delicious treats.
Woohoo.
Yeah. And that's it. I think it's time to end the podcast. So I will end it the way Vince usually does. Whether you are perfecting your sexual moans or you're yelling at Vegeta to atone, you gotta keep fighting.
Good night, Internet.
Kame House Party.